Hello everybody, Harry Boxer, Technical Trader. It's Tuesday night. These are the charts of the day at TechTrader.com. It is March the 12th. Well, we've had some winners and losers today, about something like 8 or 9 winners and 4 or 5 losers, and several other stocks we noticed. I'm going to show you all of these. Today, BIOS was a pick of ours early on. If you take a look at the pattern, you'll see that it had dropped down here in mid-February. It was giving me angst about the possibility of this being a bear flag that it was going to break down. Instead, today it exploded for $1.37 or 12.5%, and a whopping 2.3 million share traded, the biggest volume going way back, as far as I can see, a couple of years now. So what we did was we looked for the first pullback after the opening gap. Let's take a look at it, the 1 minute chart intraday, and you can see that the way it looks here. Okay, we started off with a little pop and a pullback. Now early on, that little wedge formed, and the stock did pop for about a 35 cents little scalp, and it was given as a scalp. The rest of the day, it consolidated, and then at the end of the day, came on strong and actually closed at the afternoon highs going away at a nice thrust. Not far from the session highs. And if you look at the daily chart, you'll see perhaps a key break back out as it closed at 12.27 up $1.37, just 8 cents off the high. And this one looks like it has the possibilities of running up to the top of the channel with my target around 13.5 short term. DXCM, big day today. Take a look at the way that acted. It was a price volume thrust, breaking it out. Here's the overall long-term rising channel, but near term it was having problems getting through this lateral resistance, and today it broke out on 1 million shares, jumping 9%, and or $1.42 to close at $16.99, just 7 cents off the high. The way I project it, I'd be looking for something around 18.5 next. EMPH, another stock on my daily chart list. I wanted you to notice the breakout through key resistance after it's consolidated data for 3.5 weeks here. It popped out. Now there is some overhead resistance at this level here, slightly above here, near 690, 6 3/4, something like that, which I think could be reached short term. EXK, silver stocks were on the move today. If you take a look at ESK, you'll see it spiked up last week, consolidated for a couple of days, and today broke out. Key breakout day as it moved across the 21-day moving average and has already taken out the declining tops line here. So at this point, we may see a little bit more upside to test lateral resistance and 50-day moving average somewhere up around the 680, 85 area, perhaps closer to 7. And then I would look for some sort of consolidation. If it does break through there, the next target is around 735.40. GLUU, big day today. Let's take a look at the 1 minute chart intraday. Here's the pattern. It popped. First pullback here, we said buy the first pullback near the 281 area. And then within minutes, it was up to 308. So a nice 27-cent pop there on a $2 stock, nearly 10%, just in the first 15-20 minutes. At that point, we went into a sliding channel, and I said watch for a breakout again this afternoon. And sure enough, it did get a snapback, flag, and then pop near the high, only to form a coil and then break down at the end of the day, form the bear flag into the close. Not sure what that means, but there was a couple successful scalps in it today. Looking at the daily chart, you'll see that the key to today's action, you can't see it quite, was a breakaway gap across the declining top line. It also ran above and then pulled back below key resistance from the November peak and the gap in here after filling that gap. So we'll see if there's any follow through the next couple sessions. Really nice day for GPRE. Another one of our swing trades that's acting great. It ran up to 12.29 today, and that's after we picked it coming out here in February around the 8 3/4 area. It's already gone up about 40%. HEK, nice day for that today. Take a look at the 1 minute intraday chart. You'll see it popped and had a quick pullback where we said buy the first pullback. Beautiful early scalp, a very quick one, right to our target of 4 1/4. Rest of the day it coiled in a bullish manner. You may very well see this gap again tomorrow. The next target, close to 440. IMMR, 10.11 up 43 cents today. Look at this stock go. It broke away with a big breakaway gap has moved up every day since. There is some overhead resistance and my short-term target, which was 10.5 at the peak here, 1066. And that's what I'll be looking at going forward. IRBT, well, a failed trade today. Let's take a look at why. First of all, when a stock gaps up and pulls back, it forms a wedge or even a falling wedge. I say wait for the channel to be broken. First of all, initial support was broken. And when the stock broke here, it should have been exited. Even the snapback failed, and then it rolled over even further. A couple of rally attempts here and here. The stock really didn't do much today. That's disappointing considering the strong earnings report. Still, it was up $1.18 at 5%. LPI, well, we gave you a scalp trade after the big run up. I said look for the first pullback, and we got down around 18.5. We gave a swing trade, a day trade idea that ran it up to over 19 at some point. So a nice scalp there. Rest of the day consolidated. Still, it perhaps is a good setup going forward, but we have overhead resistance to contend with up around the 19.5 area. Melonics, big pop and breakout. The shorts are on the run. Here's your intraday chart. Beautiful scalp play here. After it popped and pulled back, we had a scalp right in there. And then had a falling wedge. I said watch it for an opportunity. Broke out, pulled back, and the rest of the day just trended up right into the close. Never violated a stopping point and closed near the session highs, up a whopping almost 8 points, up 796 or 14%. It was a successful trade to say the least. NTE was not. As you can see, it popped from the coil. We gave you a buy here for if it broke out of that coil, which it did not. Then rolled over and broke down. It did recover somewhat at the end of the day, but still not the best pattern of failed trade. OCZ. After the stock opened, that was the first one we picked. I said buy that first little pullback. You can't see it here because of the smallness of the chart, but it popped, pulled right back, held the gap, and then ran sharply from about 194.5 up to 228.30, my target. Then came down in a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-wave corrective move, went sideways the rest of the day and firmed up into the close. Nevertheless, it was a good scalp early on and had some work to do technically on the daily chart. PAY. Well, this stock was also a failed. Let's take a look. No, it wasn't. Actually, it worked out well. If you looked at my notes and I said when the stock pulls back or breaks out of the wedge, when it broke out here, then stair-stepped its way up immediately for a quick scalp trade before pulling back into a coil, and for the rest of the day did a little else. But it did consolidate bullishly. POL, one of our top 25 stocks. Take a look at this move today. Nice spike up through that resistance line, and this may very well be headed to 27, my short-term target. RFIL. Now that was a trade that did not work out well. Let's take a look at why. Early on today, we popped, pulled back, and consolidated. I was looking for this to hold and then move back up again. Instead, it rolled over, cracked right here, and that was your out or stopping point. Then the rest of the day did nothing. SPWR popped sharply and then had a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-wave corrective move, at which point I said watch for a snapback move. We got it right up to resistance, and then it pulled back to test before firming up into the close. Up 3.5% on the day, not too bad, up 43 cents. But overall, wanted to point out on the daily chart, one of the reasons why we put a day trade on it, actually I believe I put a swing trade on it too, with a 16 target, as the stock appeared to have broken out across the declining tops on a lot of resistance, only it didn't close very well. We'll see what we get on it tomorrow. And finally, UNXL finally got a reversal day after reaching 29.90. As I said to you, if you recall when we put the swing trade on back here, I was looking for the stock to make it up to the 1920 zone, and if it took that out, we could see mid to high 20s. Later on, giving you a target of 28.29. Today it reached 29.90. So fabulous move from under 13 to nearly 30 just in the last 4 or 5 weeks. Very, very nice action. Happy with that. And that's it for tonight, everybody. You have a good evening, and let's trade them tomorrow. Good night.